Welcome to the Veritas Operations Manager how-to video on managing SmartIO using the Management Server Console. In this video, we will talk about how to create, modify, and delete the cache area. We will also show how to enable or disable the cache area on specific mount points or volumes, and how to enable write-back caching. The SmartIO feature of Veritas Operations Manager supports read and write caching for the VXFS file systems that are mounted on VXVM volumes. It also supports block-level read caching for applications running on VXVM volumes. Volume-level read caching can also be used in cases where VXFS caching cannot be used. On a Linux-managed host, you can create maximum 2 cache areas, one of VXVM type and the other of VXFS type. On a Windows-managed host, you can create a maximum of 8 cache areas of VXVM type. SmartIO requires a managed host having Semantic Storage Foundation 6.1 or later for Windows or Linux. The volumes to be cached must have the disk root version 190 and the file system layout version 10. Creating a cache area on shared disks is not recommended. Creation of multiple cache areas on a single SSD is not supported from the Management Server Console. SmartIO does not support caching of RAID 5 volumes and DCO volumes. For more information, refer to the Veritas Operations Manager Management Server 6.1 User Guide. On the home page of the Management Server Console, go to the Server perspective. Storage Foundation SmartIO is supported on Windows as well as Linux hosts. In this video, we will configure SmartIO cache for a Linux host. Expand the organization to locate the host. To create a cache area on the host, you must have the admin role assigned on the host. Right-click and select Properties. Click the SmartIO tab. Click Create Cache. Select the disk to be used in the cache area. The default size of the cache is the total size of the selected disks. You can select to enable the cache area for all VXFS mount points or for all VXVM volumes. We will select all VXVM volumes. To modify an existing cache area, right-click the cache name and select Modify Cache. Select Online or Offline. Online caching is enabled by default. To disable reads and writes from the cache area, select Offline. In the Enable Caching For option, you can select all mount points or select specific mount points. When you select specific volumes, caching is not enabled by default. You need to explicitly enable caching on each of the selected volumes. This option is not available for Windows hosts. In this demonstration, we will enable caching on specific volumes. Select Add or Remove to add or remove disks from the cache. During the Modify Cache Area task, we have enabled caching for selected volumes. We now need to enable caching on the volumes. To do this, expand Applications, Databases. Click on the Volumes tab. Right-click the volume and select Properties. Click the Configure tab and mark the SmartIO Caching checkbox to enable SmartIO caching. Similarly, to disable caching, you need to unmark the SmartIO caching checkbox. We have now enabled caching on selected volumes of the Oracle asmdb database, which is running on a Linux host. The SmartIO feature of Veritas Operations Manager supports write-back caching for applications running on VXFS file systems. In write-back mode, the data is written to the SmartIO cache and the write operation is marked as a success. At a later time, SmartIO transfers the data to the disk and flushes the cache area. To enable write-back caching on a VXFS file system, you need to mark the SmartIO write-back checkbox while creating a file system or while mounting or remounting a clustered or non-clustered file system. In this demonstration, we will enable write-back caching during the mount file system operation. Expand the host. Expand volumes. Right-click the volume and select File System Mount. Mark the SmartIO write-back checkbox to enable write-back caching. To delete the cache area, right-click on the host. Select Properties. Click on the SmartIO tab. Right-click the cache which you want to delete and select Delete Cache. This concludes the Veritas Operations Manager how-to video on managing SmartIO using the Management Server Console.